Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Adam West.
I'm DJ Wibblesman.
I'm Taylor Young, and we've been building out here in the Little Sugar Trail system. Well, boys, we're sitting here almost on the finished product.
About there.
What do we have out here? What have we produced?
Yeah, off the tunnel vision, you can drop into the zone and you'll have green-ish, tealish green, still green trail, a blue trail, a black trail, and then we just scattered in alt lines that are awesome.
Yeah, from the start of this build, we kind of had open options for where we went, right? And it took a team of us getting together and walking a hillside over and over and over again. Adam, what do you remember from when we first set foot out here?
I remember hearing the word mini downhill park and I got real excited. And then we, like you said, took the walk out and we saw a bunch of flags that Mr. Brian Lopes had come out before us and found some neat little features that we wanted to incorporate. So we kind of took it from there, and then we realized that this little section of heaven out here just was a gift that kept on giving, and we kept on receiving and taking and building, and now we have a pretty solid mini DH park.
Outside of this zone, our entry is a blue line. What do you guys remember about pushing up that hill and discovering the magic over there?
Endless.
Yeah. When we walked that zone, I was like, I don't know how we're going to get a machine up here. And then one day it's raining and like it was time for us to go home, but Adam was just going to push on. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he said, hey, if I don't text you by this time, just assume I fell off a cliff. And I guess evidently the whole trail just handed itself to him because we came back and he was rough cut way up there. And
Yeah, we basically got it rough cut in
from
2
that,
days.
Yeah, from that point it was, like you said, just a gift that kept on giving over there. Like that blue line that comes in has flow and like a tech optional line, and then even some tech thrown into the flow line. Like it's.
Now we kind of have a name for this blue flow trail. I don't think it'll be the real name, but we said it should be called Everything But the Kitchen Sink, because there's everything, including the kitchen sink, on that trail between top to bottom. Between jumps, rocks, tech lines, slabs that you can ride on. There are transfer hidden lines that you probably won't even notice until you've ridden the trail 4 or 5 times, where you can actually gap from the top trail to the bottom trail, from the bottom trail to the top. There's no right or wrong way to ride this stuff. It's all up to the interpretation of the rider.
Yeah.
And that's what we like about it. Well, that's what I like about it.
I mean, the trail goes right through a waterfall, and we stacked up. You stacked up that retaining wall, basically. Then we put tread on top. Well, we filled underneath with like riprap, just filling a big hole, and so the water flows through. It's so cool. Like that's one of the things I'm most proud of, for sure.
Yeah, so that leads into my next question. Looking back on this now, we're sitting here at the bottom of this base area, right? What to you guys stands out most about this trail system? What are you most proud to share with one another? Maybe a story that someone who just comes and rides this won't understand or comprehend when it comes to a feature. What stands out most to you that's so special to you that you'll take home with you after this build we walk out of here?
Dude, there's several options for me. I'm gonna give two. The rock roll on the alt line off of the blue trail. It's super steep and just like I'm yet to go down it and feel comfortable. I just thrive on that. I love it. And we added all that rock afterwards, so you couldn't just gap to dirt, but you come down and you're hitting more rock and you're right into a berm and a whale tail. Like I love that. And then I'm calling it the slab squatch, because it looks like a giant Bigfoot. The foot. And it's just a slab that we pulled a rock into place, and you can get up on it, and there's 4 different line choices on that thing, and one of them's a double drop, and then there's a cool ride around. Like just those are the 2 features for me that stick out, like especially because I was just wandering through the woods and the trail wasn't even there. And I was like, there's this slab over here, guys.
Yeah, that was late in the game when you found that.
Adam, we got to ride on this. Like, you think we can get up there? Yes, we have to.
We'll find a way.
Yeah.
Adam, how about you?
Definitely the waterfall, just because it was such a, looking at it raw when it was just in its natural form, we really doubted whether we could get a machine across it or how much work it was going to take to get a machine across it. And then once we got across it and realized it was buildable and doable and sustainable, that was one of the other biggest things. We didn't want another crazy big storm to come through and wipe that section of the trail out. Not that it couldn't be fixed. It's so deep in the woods that the undertaking it would take to fix it would have been probably the end of this trail, and it was too good of a trail to let it go that way. So I think we overbuilt that. I don't know how many feet the rock is thick underneath it, but it's taller than I am. And then that pinch rock, the natural two rocks that we just found that little gap in between, and we all looked at it and instantly knew that whatever we were going to have to do was going to be done, and we were going to make it so that you could ride in that little tiny pinch gap. And that's probably my favorite feature on the whole trail. It might not be the coolest, most spectacular thing to ride, but from a finding something natural and turning it into a trail standpoint, I think that's one of the cooler things that I've ever been able to do. And it gave itself to us. It wasn't the hardest part of the build. It kind of just had let itself happen and fell into place. But yeah, I think that's something that's cool, because I don't foresee anybody rebuilding that unless you find that same thing naturally. That's a tough one to replicate.
There's certain features out here, and I think this is what was super cool about going about this project with the two of you guys. And my most memorable day here is honestly day one. Adam walked out of the woods, and DJ and I looked at each other and started hand cutting bench and did it to the best of our ability, and each day was the leg up on that. We tried to outdo ourselves every single day. We found things that challenged us as a group, challenged us as individuals, challenged us as riders, and wanted to portray that to the rest of this community as well as ourselves, and see if it's something we were capable of doing. And from day one, looking at it, we kind of had this unspoken agreement of, we're going to push the limits. We're going to push our limits as builders. We're going to push our limits as riders, and see where this can go. To a scenic drop next to this massive rock that's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. 2.0 Junior. You don't actually ride it, but hey, you can look like you're Fairclaw. To a massive road gap with a retaining wall. There were bumps and bruises along the way, but to sit here at the end of this finished product, it's been one hell of a journey, and I wouldn't have chosen anybody else to go through it with.
Heck of a ride, boys.
Yeah.
Let's go ride this.
Secret? We got a grotto. We got the old grotto up in here. Front beach access.
By grotto, he means water.
What's in this cave?
Oh, we jump in the water? I'm jumping in.
Fellas, why are we jumping? I have shoes on. Whoa.
around. You got a trail.